Our next guest is a hilarious woman being whose videos of Horrible Insane Girl were featured on IFC's Comedy Crib, and she currently writes for Funny or Die News. Please welcome the wonderful Kady Ruth Ashcraft!
What's up, guys? Come here to not make friends. Came here to make friends. I'm gonna bring this up as a crutch because I knew. But maybe I'll put it right here. Yeah. So it's like, it's just comforting, you know. But like, I don't push it over. We got all sorts of things up here that comfort us. It's like I don't. I got my first manicure since the article, which is, if you're not aware, the New York Times article about how manicurists are slaves. And it was like a big moment for me because I wasn't feeling great. I was like, I want a manicure, but I want to make sure I'm going somewhere that isn't, you know, like perpetuating human trafficking. And that's like heavy for when you just want a manicure. But I did go into a place and I was like looking for a sign that they weren't like slaves. And I couldn't find one because they don't like advertise that. So I just like asked and I like went up to the person on the front and I was like, you guys, I read the article and you guys, and they're like, no, like we pay everyone, it's all like above the board. I was like, great. And then I sat down and I was like, they could have lied. And as soon as I'm down, they're painting my nails. And I'm just like looking everywhere for a trap door where women are being held. And then I realized like as I'm getting my nails done, like, would I just like spring up and like try to open it with my wet nails? Ruined my nails on that. But anyways, no slaves. That's my slogan. Another thing I'm excited about are the new emojis, where you can choose ones with different skin colors. I think that's like a cool progressive thing. That, you know, is more inclusive, it lets people tell their own stories, which is important via text, because that's the only way we communicate now. And I think it's interesting, you can like be more specific with how you're talking about things. Like it's much more easier, and I can more like quickly communicate via text that like another white cop was just shot a black man, because that happens once a week now. So, you know, just like trying to quickly adopt that into our text lingo, because like it doesn't seem like we're like dealing with it. One thing though I do feel a little weird about, as a white woman, so listen up, I just feel like there aren't enough outlets for me to talk about my feelings, is going in, like when I'm just texting something about myself and like selecting the white girl emoji on things that don't matter, like the white girl peace sign or like the white girl like prayer hands. I want this to have extra privilege to get across. So I'm glad there's a yellow option, and I can just feel like I'm like communicating via like Simpsons graphics, which are silly. Cool. It's still there. But the one thing I do, I guess, really dislike, because like those are my sort of like uneasy feelings, or like, not uneasy, but like I'm still a little like wishy-washy on that whole emoji, those emoji opinions, but one thing I feel strongly about emojis are when people are like really indignant that there isn't a certain emoji, as if like this wasn't something that didn't exist like 5 years ago, and now they're like, there's no crap emoji! Like, chill the fuck out, it's a 4-letter word. Yeah, I guess also just like being from Maryland, that's the one I hear all the time. They're like, is anyone else here from Maryland? Oh man, be proud! Yeah, no, it's like that's an appropriate reaction. But yeah, that's see a lot, like when people go get crabs and they're just like, hashtag no crab emoji. I don't know. Speaking of where I'm from though, I'm from a county called Prince George's County. It's a great little county. And I guess the people who invented it didn't think so. The official slogan of our county is Prince George's County, a livable community. Which is like so baseline. It's sort of saying like, glad you're here, good luck. I am like fascinated with slogans though, because that's also like on all the welcome signs going into Prince George's County. We're about like 45 minutes south of Baltimore. And Baltimore has a really great slogan history. It used to be Baltimore, the city that reads, until it got the lowest literacy rate in America. So they had to change it. They briefly changed it to what I think was just the slogan of a local like radio station. It was Baltimore, get in on it. And that was like not acceptable. And then they officially changed it to something less quantifiable than the city that reads, and they just made it the greatest city in America. Which isn't true, but you like, it's sort of like when a kid's like, I'm gonna be president. I was like, well, there's only one. Which is like sort of a sad thing. I guess, yeah, Baltimore's not the greatest city in America, but great TV shows come out of there. So, it is. Real life inspiring art. I'm thinking of House of Cards. I don't watch House of Cards. Anyways. I was talking about The Wire. That was a joke that was only funny to myself. I gained a little bit of weight recently, because that's something that like happens to bodies. And I'm like mostly okay with it. The two things that kind of suck is like one, my clothes don't fit as well as they have, and like two, we live in a society that like glorifies bones. So it's sort of like not the most awesome, but I'm kind of like fine with it because I'm just like my body, I'm like a woman, I'm growing, but I've been like talking to people about it because I also don't think it's something like people should be like ashamed about. Like bodies go through different things, and like everyone has dealt with something like this. Also, like, I'm fine. So I've been like telling people about it, and like gaining weight is the one thing when you tell people about it, they're just like, no, you haven't. And I'm like, no, like I have. This isn't like I have or I haven't. So like, you wouldn't like lose your job. You would be like, no, you're employed. You're employed. You at least look like you're employed. That's all that matters. But the more I have been thinking about it and talking about it, and just sort of like ruminating on the fact that like bodies change, but also it's like easy to get stressed out when your body's changing because like, I don't know, you want to think you have like control of your life and your body. But I think that the like ultimate perfect situation, and this is the note that I'll end on, is that if just everyone was ahead, and I think that would just make things a lot easier.